Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmidty, Swanny and Clarky visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised. All right. Well, good to see this different group of people today. How are we?
So good.
Well, sort of different. Yeah.
So
Go
good
on.
from my perspective. I mean, I would venture as far as to say you and I are great, but nowhere near as good as what Swanny is at the moment.
I know. Over in Europe, having a good old time.
Agreeing with
Leaving us here in the freezing cold of Melbourne and Albury Wodonga. But that's all right. I don't blame her.
No,
I would like to be her.
I don't even say nasty things about her when it's -2 in the morning when I get up.
Oh, -4. It's meant to be at Ilden this weekend, and we're going up. I don't know why we're insane, but yeah, cold.
Yes.
Anyway,
excellent.
And I don't know where she is. Where was she going?
She was going to the Uck at one point, and then I'm not sure where from there.
I thought the Uck, yeah. So it's pretty hot. It's been a heat wave in the Uck.
Has it? Like 32?
It's been 30 degrees. Yeah, I nearly pulled out a story about, because it was some dumb headline, and I apologise for our listeners in the UK because there are quite a few of you right now. But as you are probably aware, we're an Australian recording, and it gets up to, I think the hottest I've experienced here now is about 47, and that's hot.
Were you here for Black Saturday?
That's hot. I came in the day after.
Yeah, it was
but
48.
that had been the 47.
I remember.
Yeah. That was awful.
Yeah.
I came in from the Uck the day before, and it had been snowing and freezing cold.
Oh, what
and
a nice
I arrived to 48-degree heat. But it's okay. I came home, and it stank because it was just bushfire city. But yes, so it gets quite a lot hotter in Australia much more regularly. So we don't mean to mock you, but there was the story which I was on the Mirror. That's right. I was on the. Is it the Daily Mirror or the Mirror? I was looking at the mirror.co.uk, and the story was, water evaporates on hood of car as man washes it. And I thought,
every fucking day.
Slow news day. The Mirror has no viable storylines, is the headline I was thinking.
Yes.
If that was a good story. But yes. So yes, it's a heat wave. So I'm sure she's enjoying cooler than WA temperatures, given that she also lives in a hot state normally. Yes. So I'm sure she's enjoying that. Anyway, so yes, we don't have Swanny with us because she's having some good times overseas, but we do have Woo and Tony, which if those of you who listen to us more than once will know that they often join us, but we're going to let them speak today if they'd like to, a little bit more. So they're being allowed out of the cage.
Ooh, risky.
The muzzle's off. Pressure.
So I suppose we should introduce ourselves. I'm Schmidty.
I had to pause because there was no I'm Swanny. I'm Clarky.
I'm Stu. I'm Tony.
And together we are...
Trial
by
Wine.
Minus Swanny.
Oh, minus Swanny, yes. We're sort of 2/3 of Trial by Wine. And what are we drinking?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. So after our trip overseas, we decided we'd just dial things back a little bit so that we can make the bank account, bring it back to life, I guess is a good way of putting it, because it is very, very sad at the moment. So we dug out a case of wine that we bought some time ago. And so we're having from that Smoky Nebbiolo, which no one's ever heard of because it's not really a thing, other than when half your country burns and the smoke hangs around for like 2 weeks. And so the grapes can get a smoke taint. So lots of the wineries around here got rid of all of their grapes, so lost the whole year's crop. Some of them tried to make wines and salvage some of it, and they were just undrinkable, so they just tipped them all out. Others had a little bit of success. And so this one is from one of our favourite wineries, Halden, and it has a tiny, tiny smoke taint in it that if you didn't know it was smoky, you wouldn't know. And it's quite drinkable. And good old Tracy gave us a good discount on it, so why not? We said.
What year is that? Is that from
2020.
last year's?
2020.
2019 was the bushfires, I believe, when everything.
Oh yeah,
burnt.
just pre-COVID. Yeah.
And so 2020.
So it's that one, right.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny that we were just talking about Black Saturday, and yes, you're right.
Yeah.
The next big fires were the 2019, 2020s.
Mm.
All right, and what are you drinking, Tony?
But I'm drinking something that's quite hard to describe, simply because they say every day deserves its wine. In other words, this wine is bog ordinary.
I love their sentiment.
It's a nice sentiment. It's if you want to know what kind of grape it is, I can go as far as telling you it's Vino Bianco.
Oh yeah,
white wine.
And there's no more detail.
That's it. That's as far as it goes.
So, yeah. And it's a valiant effort to make us happy every day, but it won't be making me happy every day.
So it says every day deserves their wine, but not every day deserves this wine. Yes.
It's hinting that it's this wine.
Well,
but,
he was. Sorry, I was going to say he was a bit cross with me because he bought these wines the other day from some deal at Dan Murphy's, and I used it for cooking. And he said, "What are you using the new wines for cooking for?" And I was like, it almost says a great cooking wine on it because it says an everyday wine. And I'm like, well, that's not going to be the best, is it?
I'd like to hear as we progress through the episode whether or not your wine is worth drinking or whether it should be one of our future punishments.
Yeah.
You have to drink this wine every day for the rest of your life.
Well, that could be quite a harsh punishment.
Yeah.
I know we've got the slides and the sandpaper and the rubbing alcohol and various other awful things, but the everyday white wine, that could be rough.
Yes.
Yeah. And what are you drinking?
What about you?
I have a little bit of Gordon's with soda water, so gin and soda today.
Lovely. Oh, lovely. With a slice of something in it, or just?
No, just plain.
Is.
Wow. Just as is,
Hardcore.
Which is funny because I got a lot of citrus in the garden, but I didn't think to get any for this, so never mind. All right, so I've got a series of silly little stories that I thought we don't want to go and get overexcited because I very much enjoy Swanny's responses to our stories. So I thought I'd just keep us warm and also give us a bit of a palate cleanser after last week's story. Before I get on to my weird stories, I did want to just do a little throwback to last week. So if you recall, we were talking about the boy band, the Killer Boy Band.
Oh, yes.
And I was doing the edit of that and finishing that off, and I have had a song in my head. It's so inappropriate, but I've had a song in my head. Quit playing games with my heart. My heart. My heart. Isn't that awful?
Oh.
And I can't get it out of my head.
Oh, particularly whilst it's outside of my chest.
Oh, I know. Awful.
Oh, that is brilliant. I'm crying.
Sorry, it just popped into my mind and I thought that is so bad, but also rather funny, so I thought I should share.
It's a bit like hot potato. But not a potato.
A bit like that, yes. It's the earworm of the century. I'll be happy when it's gone. Okay, so I'm just going to do a series of weird things. I was going to call this the Ladbible edit because I know how much you like Ladbible, but it turned out I found a whole bunch of weird things from lots of different sources.
And not Ladbible.
So my first one... Oh, no, there are some Ladbibles. Okay. We'll see if we get to them.
Yep.
Because, I've tried to do this kind of, spray of short stories in the past, but the last time I think I tried to do it was Sacramental Bleach, and we spent an hour and a half laughing about the one story.
About old mate who's about to be sentenced. Well, surely he's going to get some action going on anyway.
Fingers crossed. All right, so this one comes from the independent.co.uk. And it is the report of a dead crocodile on residential street in Worcester sparks inquiries.
As it should. Worcester's not known for its crocodile population.
That's right. The very next line is, it's not very often you see that in Worcester. Wildlife Trust employee remarks.
Is it that you don't see that every day?
Is it though?
Is it? Well, it's funny because I was looking up what is the accent of Worcester, and it's a little bit more Birmingham. Oh. Birmingham. But it's not quite, because it's sort of somewhere between Gloucester and Birmingham. And I I tried, but I ran out of
Yeah,
time.
you nearly.
So the best I can do is Birmingham. Anyway.
Nice.
A quiet residential street in Worcester has been subject to investigations over what was reportedly thought to be a dead crocodile. The suspected reptile was pictured inside an electrical substation on Sydney Street in the north of the city on Monday. Small in stature and sporting realistic off-yellow markings, the supposed crocodile, realistic in nature, or realistic off-yellow markings?
No, I was going to say, I love that they're saying a suspected crocodile, and now you're saying realistic in nature. It's just going to be some lizard man, fancy dress costume,
Gone wrong.
probably winery walkabout where someone dressed up.
Close. So the supposed crocodile was shown to be perched on a thin metal beam near the top of a transformer.
As they do.
And as we know, very dangerous. And the natural habitat of one's crocodiles.
Crocodiles with their legs coming out to the side are very, very good at walking on narrow beams.
Its legs and tail draped over either side, surrounded by hazard signs warning danger of death, keep out.
It sounds like a drunk person.
It sounds like a fall from heights.
Seeking to solve the mystery, local outlet Worcester News approached the Worcestershire Wildlife Trust with the images, which were less than crystal clear. The images were less than crystal clear.
Right.
Well, it's not very often you see that in Worcester, the Trust's spokesperson said. It certainly looks like a dead crocodile. Perhaps a caiman, but I'm afraid I know very little about how you might identify it from other species.
As you'd expect to their defence. Like, when was the last time you saw a crocodile in Worcester?
Could be a caiman. It's certainly not native, and my guess would be that it's an escaped or abandoned captive animal, but I don't know what species are likely to be kept as such.
I love that they've clarified the mystery of is it native or not.
Oh, well, yeah, and I don't know what kind.
People of Worcester, do tell us if you've ever seen a crocodile.
But then, I don't suppose it's plastic or a toy, is it?
Oh.
Miss Carter's latter question was soon proven incisive as the outlet approached Western Power Distribution in a bid for answers. The power network operator then sent an engineer to investigate who, by the way, was probably like, oh, it's not worth me job. If there's a crocodile up there, I'm not going near it. But then he discovered it was merely a realistic-looking toy. After reports that a crocodile had been spotted in a substation in the Barban area of Worcester, one of our engineers visited the site and discovered that the animal was in fact a toy. A spokesperson was
like a
quoted
30
as saying,
centimetre toy? Was it?
Don't know if it gives us a size. It will now be removed, though. We would like to take this opportunity to remind customers never to enter electricity substations or to throw objects inside. Substations contain high voltage equipment which can kill.
And toy crocodiles.
Anyone who does lose an object inside a substation is advised to stay well clear and call 105, our emergency number, and wait for help to arrive. It's the second mistaken crocodile sighting reported in as many years in the city.
Oh, no.
I love this next bit, with one hotel manager helping to clear the devastation caused by Storm Dennis last February, given a scare as a life-size crocodile, quickly revealed to be a garden model, emerged from the floodwaters.
Oh,
could you imagine that, though? You're cleaning out flood debris and a life-size crocodile pops up at you. I literally would have pooed my pants.
Yeah. And because, of course, there'd be not enough time to go, that's not real. You'd just literally shit and run.
It's like all of your primal fears would have come to bear in that moment, and you would have shit and run, or shit and stayed still, depending on you've got the
fight or flight,
or fight, flight, or this one other freeze.
What's that over there?
Yeah, so. Oh, thank God! It's only a garden.
Nothing
model.
to see here.
Correct. So that's my first one. My second one is also from the independent.co.uk.
Can before we go on to your second one,
sure.
It did cross my mind. You know how they talk about electricity or power plants becoming potential terrorist threats? It did cross my mind that they'd.
You mean targets?
Yeah. Sorry, targets. Yeah.
Not threats in their own right.
Correct.
Look
Yeah,
out! That substation's going to be a terrorist
yes,
threat.
yes. There would definitely need to be intervention. So I thought maybe that was the new security that they had adopted, where they just get like a moat with a whole lot of crocodiles swimming around it. That would work.
I think that's a brilliant idea. Yes, might explain the next story.
Oh, do tell.
Crocodile spotted on loose in Yorkshire Garden year after similar sighting.
Are you serious?
I am not shitting you. I am dead serious. Yes. Apparently, there's a spate of crocodile type activity in the Midlands and north of England. I've found 2 stories.
This is not too far from where, not too far in Australian terms, probably different in UK terms, not too far from where they did cite Loch Ness Monster. So, maybe it's more that there's just something in the air every now and then.
There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright.
And
crocodiles. Yeah.
Maybe
it may be. Maybe
it's just hallucinogenic.
I lived in the southwest, and there was boundless sort of stories about UFOs and stuff. People and crop circles, and paranormal activity and ghosts, and I lived in a haunted house. That's for another podcast. And one of these, how you always laugh about my my anecdotes, and that I have a personal story connected to almost every scenario we cover.
But I haven't noticed.
But I do think that yes, there is an interest in this sort of stuff, and so you're right. Maybe people are a bit more open to the possibility of things that are outside of what you would say. Oh, that's bullshit. Maybe some people are more believing.
Maybe when you become disconnected from nature, you start to imagine it. Well, no, they don't have a lot of wilderness in the UK.
I was surrounded by beautiful fields and forests in the southwest, so I'm going to have to challenge that, my friend.
Are you really? I'm talking about wilderness. So just because
you've
got
they still have
grass
some
and trees, it doesn't mean you've got wilderness. And they certainly don't have a lot of wildlife like what we do. So what I'm saying is that maybe you start to imagine stuff. Are you pulling
badgers and deers? Badgers and deers are everywhere. What are you talking about? There's plenty of wildlife.
Biodiversity. So just because you've got lots of 2 different types of animals doesn't mean you have a lot of types of animals.
I think you'll find there are a lot of animals in the UK, and they have a fair amount of biodiversity. They don't have marsupials like us, and they don't have vast tracts of untouched land.
They don't have crocodiles is what they don't have, and yet they're seeing them.
Okay, I will absolutely agree with that one.
My point is
you're on the money
that
on
when you don't have these things, maybe you start to imagine them. And so maybe that's what's happening.
Yeah, but there is a bit of a Tiger King type thing in the UK where people have imported
tigers.
What do they call them? No, exotic pets.
Yeah.
And so there have been situations where people have had an exotic pet, it's escaped, and run riot in the countryside, and they're real things. They're not fake sightings. And I'm not saying. I mean, this next story will be interesting. Judge it as you will. But I do think there is. I mean, I certainly had friends who had pythons as pets, big tarantulas. I think there's a bit of a market for that.
Yeah, someone I live with, a little bit different to where I was going, but yes, you are correct. When I work at the zoo, we used to have animals that escaped from the zoo too, so there is that as well.
I know. I know. A friend of mine once told the story. In fact, you knew her. It was before you were at the zoo. A foxtail person. She and her partner lived near somewhere around the back of the zoo. And one night he was looking down from his balcony and he saw what he thought was a very large dog. Turned out it was a bear that had gotten out. And the ranger or whatever park people showed up 2 minutes later and picked it up, put it in the back of a van, took it back.
It was probably the red panda escape that happened.
Maybe. Maybe. But he just saw what he thought would look like a bear and was like, that can't be right. Must be a big dog.
I'm going back to bed.
But yes. Anyhow, my next one. Crocodile spotted on loose in Yorkshire Garden year after similar sighting. The Castleford Croc, as they like to call it. A Yorkshire woman was stunned when she saw what appeared to be a crocodile roaming free in her neighbour's garden. Sarah Jane Ellis said she spotted the creature from her house near the River Aire in Castleford. There was a similar sighting reported at a nature reserve in the town last year. Ms. Ellis said she thought the animal, which had been called the Castleford croc, was around 3 or 4 foot long and looked real. Remember our alligator story, the man who threw the alligator around and it was only a little one?
Yeah.
It was about the same size as that.
Yeah.
She told Yorkshire Live, I thought, that's a crocodile. I was shutting the blinds in the bedroom when I saw it on the grass. I can't do a Yorkshire accent or I'd give it a go. I looked a couple of hours later and it was gone. So I'm closing the
'Cause it
blinds
wasn't
and I saw a
fucking there.
crocodile. Ms. Ellis took a photo, which she showed to her sister-in-law, Kate Ellis Holmes. No relation to Sherlock. A deputy
Thanks for
head
clearing
teacher
that
from
up.
Huddersfield. No, but I like the way that they point out she's a deputy head teacher from Huddersfield who said she was in disbelief. And it's almost
Me
like
too.
I showed it to a credible person.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and she's in
yeah.
disbelief.
I thought the whole in disbelief thing was like, here she goes again. She always fucking makes shit up.
I thought it was bizarre and a really interesting story, she said, adding, it definitely looks like a crocodile. Ms. Ellis said it should be investigated whether a crocodile really has been living in Castleford,
God's sakes.
especially given an earlier reported sighting further down the River Aire last year. Wildlife photographer Lee Collings claimed to have seen a 4-foot crocodile in the Fairburn Ings Nature Reserve on the edge of town in May 2020. Mr. Collings said the creature got away before he could capture it on camera, but he insisted it was a crocodile, perhaps an alligator. I'm not bothered about being ridiculed. I'm that confident about what I saw, he told the Yorkshire Evening Post at the time. The RSPB, which maintains Fairburn Ings, said they suspected the sighting to have been of an otter, which were not unknown to appear on the reserve.
A
I know,
3
how's that?
foot long otter?
I don't know how big native otters are.
They're not big.
Tiny. I know, you're the zoologist amongst us,
They're
but
certainly not scaly.
No.
they're not scaly and they don't look like a crocodile. I think it's
Correct.
more to the point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a cover-up from the people who maintain the Fairburn Ings. I think there is a crocodile
Yeah.
in Castleford.
This is going to be a modern-day Loch Ness Monster thing now, where now that 2 people have seen the crocodile, it's going to be a real one.
It just could be a lizard. You know, like it could be a, what do you call it? Like a what do they call them? A monitor?
Monitor lizard.
Yeah, so again, an exotic pet. Not necessarily a
Komodo
crocodile.
dragon.
And you don't want one of them chasing you.
Yeah.
That's the shit getting
You do
real.
not want one of those. Yeah.
That's true, though. In England, anything bigger than a hamster would look like a crocodile.
Is a dinosaur.
You know, any lizard bigger than...
I'll go back to my point earlier. Badgers are quite large. They're big like wombats, like big wombats. So there you go. That's England being harassed by crocodiles.
So, is that the last of your crocodile stories for today?
I have one more.
Do you?
No, I have one more because
Okay.
I know you love a good croc
Yeah,
story.
yeah, because I've got one I just want to tell you about once you're done. So you go, keep going.
Okay. So this one's closer
No
to
rush,
home.
though.
This one's closer to home. This is theguardian.com.
Okay, awesome.
And the headline is Naked Fugitive Found in Crocodile-Infested Waters near Darwin, Charged with Fresh Offences. And I did enjoy this. So a naked alleged fugitive, not an allegedly naked fugitive,
right.
found by 2 fishermen sitting on a tree branch in Australian crocodile-infested waters, has been slapped with additional charges of breaching bail and aggravated assault.
I thought they might have just slapped him just for shits and giggles.
Cam Faust said on Wednesday that he and fellow recreational fisher Kev Joyner heard Luke, I can't say his name, Voskarensi, 40, yell for help as they set crab traps from their dinghy in mangroves on the outskirts of the northern city of Darwin.
Brilliant.
Faust said Voskarensky, who was covered in mud, cuts and insect bites, explained on Sunday that he had been lost for 4 days, survived by eating snails, and had used his clothes for bits and pieces over the way. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, correct. I think that...
I have no idea what that means, and neither did the fisherman, but there were photos of this man, and he's entirely nude.
It's disappointing they didn't think to ask. What do you mean by that? I know you're under stress at the moment, but let's explore that a little bit.
Faust goes on to say it didn't make sense to us, referring to the explanation for his nudity. He had a nest made up in the tree and he was only laying a metre above the water and there were crocs in the water, so he's done well to survive. Joyner said the friends hesitated before bringing Voskorensky on board their small aluminium boat. Could you imagine it, right? You're in the middle of a swamp with mangroves and crocodiles, and there's a naked man in a tree, and they're like, should we let him in?
Yeah,
This is hilarious.
I don't know.
Let's get some good footage.
You'd
anyway.
almost rather have a crocodile in the boat with you than a naked man who lives in a tree.
Agreed. Once we'd seen how bad he was and how many cuts he had all over him, and he was dehydrated and pretty weak, we thought we'd better get him in the boat.
We can take him if he goes wild.
Exactly. We thought he just must have had a big night after New Year's and got lost and done himself a mischief in the bush.
Done himself a mischief.
Done himself a mischief.
I loved it. Yeah.
That is a great phrase.
Faust said he stripped to his underwear and handed Voskorensky his shorts and a beer as the trio made their way back to Darwin. Oh, look, he looked like he needed a beer, although he was in a bad way, Faust said.
I feel like everyone up there looks like they need a beer.
Oh, yeah.
It's just your
and
normal
probably
state.
in a bad way. An ambulance was waiting at a Darwin boat ramp when they arrived. Voskorensky was taken to a Darwin hospital where he was placed under police guard as he was treated for exposure.
Ah,
Northern
see it?
Territory-
What about the blokes in the boat?
Ah, yeah!
Were they treated for exposure?
Oh, Northern Territory Police said Voskorensky had been free on bail after being charged with armed robbery, but they allege he had cut off his electronic monitoring device last week and attempted to evade authorities. A police spokeswoman told Guardian Australia after Voskorensky was rearrested, he was charged with aggravated assault, your favourite.
Yeah.
He must have been cross
Must
at
have
the
been
time.
very angry.
And breach of bail. He was remanded and is scheduled to appear before a court on the 9th of February. Faust said he decided against visiting Voskorensky in hospital after discovering he'd been wanted by police.
Yeah.
Now, this is, I had a couple of versions of this story. And if you Google it, listeners, there are a bunch of what I think were very funny photos taken by the fishermen. Like, firstly, they take a photo of the guy in the tree, and then they've got a photo of him in their tinny on their way back to Darwin. But then there's one where the guy's sort of, surreptitiously taking a selfie while the police are rearresting this bloke in the background.
Brilliant. We'll try to whack some of those photos on our Twitter account.
So, what's your crocodile story?
Well, mine is really just. I'll just read you the headline because that says enough. But it's really just because we know in the UK there are heaps and heaps of pubs, and we love that. And so if the crocodile does turn out to be a real one, I suggest anyone who sees it, rather than just reporting it, go and see your local publican, because the headline is pub owner smacks aggressive crocodile on the snout with a frying pan.
Yeah.
And we can show the link in Twitter as well, but it's hilarious. There's literally a crocodile that comes up, and this bloke lives on an island and he has a pub and he has lots of people come and visit, and a crocodile has moved into the territory and started to become a bit aggressive. So he just goes out there with his old cast iron frying pan and just whacks it on the head. It's brilliant. So
I think I saw that on Facebook. Did you share that?
I faxed it to you. Yeah. But that would be a very good strategy in the UK, because there's lots and lots of pubs and perhaps not so many wildlife experts. So don't call one who'll say it's not native. Just get someone to whack it on the head with a frying pan.
Not native, it was a plastic toy. I mean, that's how bad that person was at determining what species it was. Yeah. It wasn't even a species.
Could have been caiman.
It could be a caiman, but I'm not really an expert in this. I can't tell the difference between a plastic toy and an actual alligator or crocodile.
And by the time the amount of time you'd spend trying to get that level of expertise, it could have mauled like 20 people by then if it was real. Just call the publican, he'll whack it, job done.
So I'm going to move us on now.
Okay.
Speaking of dumb people.
We off for crocodiles?
No, we're off crocodiles, and I want to do a little bit of our Ladbible edit.
Oh, yes. Bring on the Bible.
Can I say before we move off crocodiles?
Yes.
I simply wanted to say before we left this subject that we've heard that many allegations have been made, but we've not found a single alligator.
None of those alligators have proved to be correct.
Classic Tony. Right. And how long have you been spending working on that one?
No, it came
33 minutes.
It came from a true story of my background.
Right.
Alleged gators.
No, it was a long time ago. It was a project manager who tried to be more articulate than he was equipped to,
Right.
and he used to make regular mistakes like that.
I worked with a girl who used to do the same thing, and that she made all these. She'd use the wrong expression, thinking it meant something else, and it come out the wrong way. And we were in a workshop, spitballing or whatever you do in a workshop, and someone said something she thought was smart or good, a good idea, and she said, "Yeah, put that in your spank bank."
No. Brilliant. What?
and everyone around her, because we all knew she had a tendency to do this, so a few of us sort of just were like, just pretend that didn't happen. And then one of the other girls was so shocked. She goes, "Do you know what that means?" She goes, yeah. Put it in your little bank for later. You can come back to it. It's a really good idea. And she's like, "That's not what it means." And when she was told what it meant, she was so mortified because she said it right in front of all these senior managers. And she said it loudly because she was really excited. Yeah, put that in your spank bank.
Embarrassment.
So, yes, she was very funny. That was the one I remember the most. But, yeah, she had quite a few of those. I'm moving on to our Ladbible. So, this one is another homegrown story. Aussie legend stops woman stealing his car by using a forklift.
What?
So this story... I know. The logistics of this threw me for a bit. But here it goes. A quick-thinking Australian man has taken matters into his own hands after arriving home to discover a woman was attempting to steal his car.
Is that a dig at Australian men? A quick-thinking Australian man. Like, most of them aren't, so we better emphasise the fact that this one was.
I don't know. I mean, this is based in Queensland.
Hang on, I resemble that remark.
I think 3/4 of this panel do, but, take it on the chin, as you were.
Yeah. No, I just meant I was just talking about it being based in Queensland.
Yeah.
I was making a regional joke, not a man versus woman.
Oh, no, I wasn't joking about you joking about stuff.
Us joking.
All right. Look, it might be a slight against men. I'm not sure. He was quick thinking. I'll give him that. What could be the weirdest ever citizen's arrest, Queensland man Brendan Mills trapped the alleged car thief by using his forklift to trap her inside the vehicle. Speaking to Sunrise, another reputable news source, the Waterford West man said, "I gave the person or persons plenty of chances to run. I don't know who was in the car. There could have been 5 blokes in there. But I asked them many times, get out of the car. We're home. You busted." He said that the person in the red Volkswagen Polo wouldn't get out, so he had to think quickly. I went, "Okay, I've got an alternative option here." So I grabbed the keys and picked the car up, he told Sunrise. The automotive worker had his forklift parked beside the car, so he simply drove the machine forward and lifted the Volkswagen Polo off its wheels. The woman became trapped inside, and Mills then called the police. The alleged thief was then unable to open the doors of the car due to the positioning of the forklift prongs. Police video captured at the scene showed an officer opening the door of the car after it was lowered by Mills, saying, "Out you get," to the woman inside. Mills put his quick thinking down to the rush of adrenaline and the need to protect his daughters who were with him. "I had to act as safely as possible for me and my family," he told the Channel 7 program. "I'm quite comfortable on me trusty forklift here, so what better way to do it?" Security footage seen by the Daily Mail showed a woman wandering into the South Brisbane property at 5:20 p.m. on June 5. According to police, she went into the house while the family was out, showered, and helped herself to clothes she found inside.
Yeah.
Oh.
Get off the gun.
You don't want that shit going on in your house.
It's gross, isn't it? A 24-year-old woman was arrested at the property and charged with burglary and unlawful use of a motor vehicle and shower. I
What?
added
Oh, I
that.
was going to say, God, is that really a charge?
No, a Queensland police statement said, a motor vehicle. Blah. While his unusual choice at thwarting a would-be thief was effective, Queensland police urged people to steer clear.
See what they did?
Of attempting a citizen's arrest for safety reasons. To ensure community safety, police recommend members of the public not engage in methods of disrupting criminal activity which may involve risk of personal harm or further legal recourse, they said in a statement.
Did they say it just like that? I bet it was.
I think that is exactly how they said
reckon.
it. That is why I retold it in such a way.
Yep.
There you go.
When you said that, can you read the headline again? Because I can't remember it, but it prompted.
Yeah, Aussie man does something, stops
Quick thinking.
some bird doing something. Aussie legend stops woman stealing his car by using a forklift.
Yes. So I had visions of him doing a lot more damage with the said forklift.
Right through the windows.
Yeah, and getting her head and neck in the tines and maybe picking her up in the tines rather than the car, because it's a bit of clickbait. That would have got me clicking on it for a whole lot of weird things that go through my head, and then you just go, oh, I mean, yeah, good on him. It's nice and responsible, and he's done a fantastic job, but where's the damage and shit?
As I say, the logistics were interesting because the whole car, obviously, the forklift had come in at a 90-degree angle, and the whole car was lifted up and tilted on, probably a 45-degree angle.
Oh, it wasn't even off the ground properly then.
No, it was up about 2 meters, and then you know how forklifts lift back?
Yeah.
Because of the weight.
Yeah. Yep.
So she was sort of tilted on an angle and up off the ground. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was funny, but at the same time, I enjoyed his sort of, I had to do this. Me trusty forklift. I was out there.
But it sounds like a very responsible way to do it. So good on him.
Clever headline, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aussie legend.
I was waiting to see.
Jimmy
was
Barnes.
that Warney?
Exactly where my head
Jimmy
went
Barnes.
to. I'm thinking Jimmy Barnes is an ice house. Who is
Barnesy's out there with his.
Yeah, it's not.
Barnesy's out there with his forklift.
It's just Brady.
What did I
Peter
say
Brock?
his name was? Brady. Mills?
No, he's
Millsy.
a legend.
It would have been
because
Millsy.
He used his forklift to catch it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Careful play on words.
Brendan Mills. Yeah, Millsy.
Yeah.
It was just legend Millsy,
Yeah,
eh?
Bastard, those headline writers.
Damn it.
Get you every time.
Yeah. Wow, nice one.
Okay.
That's the hook.
Yeah, well, here's another one. Again, Australian. Aussie woman fuming as she's blocked from $12 million trust fund until she gets a job.
Oh, I read this one.
Brilliant.
Oh.
Yeah, and frankly, fair enough.
Excellent headline.
Obviously,
Excellent headline. It got me fucking hook, line, and sinker.
it got me in. Yeah. But did you see the photo?
Yeah, I
of
did.
her?
Yes.
I felt less sympathetic. Anyway, I broke
You felt
Australian heiress.
less sympathetic.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
this is great. Anyway.
Yeah, no, sorry. A broke Australian heiress has revealed she's blocked from her $12 million Australian, or in the UK, 6.8 million pounds, or in US dollars, $8.3 million.
If you want to know any other currency conversions, just Google it.
Please go to Currency XE. That's it. Because of the way her father's trust fund was organised. Now, there's a clue, right? Claire Brown, who lives in Sydney's western suburbs, can only access her jaw-dropping fortune on one condition. She either gets a job or volunteers to contribute to society. Honestly, how hard is it to volunteer to contribute to society?
I'm pretty sure he didn't put that clause into the will when she was born either.
No, I agree. However, the mother of one plans to contest her father's request in court because she says her high-functioning ADHD means she can't hold a job. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people with ADHD who hold down jobs or contribute appropriately to society.
Her high-functioning ADHD plus the fact that she has $12 million looming contributes to the fact that she can't get a job. If she had...
She's a fat, lazy cow.
Does this mean she's just too lazy to get a job and pick up the money?
It's
open to interpretation, Tony, but if that's your opinion, go ahead and speak it.
Speak your mind, man.
I told you, I saw a photo. I was less sympathetic. Yeah. I think anyway, keep going. The story's not done. So, what's your point there,
Well,
Clarky?
no, I was going to say, I think there is one of the things that crossed my mind as I read it was, fuck me, really? You can't get a job?
Mm-hmm.
And I think to your point, there are plenty of people who have all kinds of mental health issues that contribute meaningfully to society.
I don't think it stipulates you have to have a job as a banker or a lawyer or like a high profile job. It's just get a job or do something good for society. Like, surely
Lollipop
that can't
lady.
be that hard.
Whatever.
Volunteer.
She had a baby,
Yeah.
although back in the
Yeah.
Johnny Howard days or whatever it was, didn't you have to have 2 kids plus 1 for society? So she's too short of that goal even.
She still would have got the plasma
Have
bonus.
another couple of... Yeah, she would have got the plasma bonus, that's for sure.
Oh, so she's not contributing to society because she doesn't have enough
Yeah,
children.
yeah, because you had one for the mother, one for the father, and one for society. So she's had one for the mother and done fuck all else. So again,
Selfish
Tony, maybe there's a little bit of laziness coming through.
And stupid.
She
If you went
can't
to
even
any
be bothered
employer
having
and
2
said-
more children. I mean,
Exactly.
come on.
If you went to any employer and said, give me a job and I'll give you $1 million.
Yeah, yeah.
2 months
Yeah,
afterwards.
hired.
Yeah. I promise I won't work, but you just pay me. Pay me that $1 million
exactly.
over the course of...
500 grand would get you the job.
Exactly right.
No worries. You could work for us.
Yeah.
She could work for Trial by
And she
Wine.
could work from home.
Oh, she could work
In
from
inverted
home. She could do what
commas, work from home.
Exactly. Yeah. While appearing on A Current Affair, she pleaded with her family, "Give me what's rightfully mine. I am suffering. Can you please stop with the whole me getting a job?
Fucking
It's
wham,
not happening.
wham.
It's
It's
not
not
happening.
happening.
Nah, stop with the me getting a job shit. It's not
I've
happening.
applied for
quote
no
unquote.
jobs and there's no way I wasn't even close to getting any of them.
Exactly.
Didn't even get an interview.
Claire, whose father accumulated megabucks while working, that's apparently a currency.
That's a real phrase.
Remember, it's the Ladbible edit, so you got to remember. His megabucks by working as a successful stockbroker. There I was saying, you don't have to be a banker. Provided his daughter with 500 Australian dollars allowance a week while also gaining government benefits.
Oh, claim them back. I'm going to ring RoboCop or whatever it is, RoboJet.
RoboCop? But Claire claims she was forced to apply for these benefits via Centrelink as her father kept cutting her off and was financially abusing her. And I didn't write this next bit, right? This is written by the Ladbible journalist. Wow, if receiving a hefty allowance each week while not working is financial abuse, where do I sign up?
Exactly. See, that's the shit I love about Ladbible. Those little bits are gold.
A nice little bit of commentary there from the journalist.
Yeah. Like,
quote unquote.
you think of the abuse stories that we've heard, and I was thinking of,
and there are real,
like Sylvia Likens,
yeah.
who was genuinely abused, and then you've got old mate here, like, can't dull.
Correct. When Claire's late father passed earlier this year, she was denied access to her funds as she remained unemployed. Now, the former private school girl is living off welfare payments with her wife, Lauren, as they raise their 1-year-old daughter in Mount Druitt.
Do you reckon it's Lauren from Catherine Tate Show? And she just sits there going, am I bothered?
Am I bothered?
Is my face bothered?
Do I look bothered?
I think
Am
all
I
Lauren
bothered?
would be saying now is get a job. Get a job.
I'm only with you for the $6 million that I was going to get.
Oh my God, contribute,
You lazy
will you?
cow.
Yeah. No, to be fair, Claire's partner also maintained that due to her diagnosis, she struggles to go. Oh, I'm sorry. This is where I'm going to get really nasty. I remember this line. Claire's partner also maintained that due to her diagnosis, she struggles to complete daily tasks and needs a checklist to remind her to do simple things such as eat. There is no evidence of that when you look at her photo.
Unless Lauren's a feeder, is that what you mean?
She must be. Have you forgotten to eat? Here, eat some more. Eat some more.
Maybe
You're
she's
so
been
naughty. You shouldn't.
I know,
You
I'm
shouldn't
mean.
fat shame. That is not the case here. It is lazy shame.
I actually am also fat, so I'm not fat shaming, although I am. Yeah. I'm actually fat shaming and lazy shaming because she's a millionaire and I'm jealous and she doesn't even bother to get her money because she's so freaking lazy. She's just going to wah about it, and that makes me even more angry. So, yes, I'm this is not bringing out the best
It's
of
not
me.
bringing out your finest qualities. Is it?
No.
Is it that she's also a liar? Because when she says, "Give me what's mine,"
Give me what's mine.
she
What's owed to
probably
me.
doesn't realize that it's
It's
actually
rightfully
not
mine.
hers. Like, you didn't get a job.
True. Yeah, you haven't earned it.
It's
You don't
you
get
know
to
it's
have
an
it.
inheritance. It's not
Correct.
yours. Go and earn something. Like, it frustrates me because of all of the people who genuinely deserve money or could use it. And here's her. Give me what's mine.
Oh, look, we're being very harsh
No,
because
we're not.
Oh,
I
we
fell
are.
for that
She has
clickbait
tried.
hook, line, and sinker.
She has tried to get some work. Her previous jobs include working part-time for Autism Australia and a very brief stint as a barista, which only lasted an hour. I feel like she learned how to make her own coffee and then went, check ya, I'm out.
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, can I just get proof that I was hired so I can get my 12
Yeah.
However, Claire's family accuses her of using her condition as a scapegoat, including her cousin Jimmy, who slammed her efforts as embarrassing.
On you, Jimmy.
He told a current affair, yeah, good on ya. We'd like her to get a job and to contribute to society. Instead of her agreeing to her dead dad's wishes, she's turned around and sued her trust. We are at our wits' end. We've done nothing but love Claire. Drop mic.
Poor Jimmy.
Good on you, Jimmy. Yeah.
Jimmy Crackercorn.
Get a job, Claire.
Yeah.
Far out. Just get a job.
Get a haircut and get a real job. Do you remember that song?
I don't know about the haircut.
No, there's a song called that, yeah.
And I think for my final piece de
Oh, you're not
resistance
done?
for you
Wait,
today,
there's more.
I've got one more.
Yeah.
I've got one more
Yeah.
that I think
Oh,
you
hang on.
will
Before we go into the next one,
love.
Tony, are you considering sentencing Claire to having that everyday wine every day for the rest of her natural, what is it, term of her natural life or something?
Term of her natural life.
I kept getting in my head, and
It
maybe
is
this
that,
is from the Spank Bank comment you made earlier, the term of her natural endearment. And I'm going, is there a book about that?
Terms
Yeah.
you're getting, terms of endearment
Yeah.
and term of his natural life.
Yes,
mixed up.
correct.
Yep.
It's a good idea, except she might benefit from it if she has this and then does get a job. Then she'll realise just how good some wine can be when she starts spending millions
So
of dollars.
the wine you're drinking isn't bad enough to be a punishment?
No, it would just be a good benchmark for her to know what
She has to
money
drink it
can
every
buy.
day, though.
Big money can buy.
She has to drink it every day. Maybe the punishment is she's not allowed to have any other wine.
Oh,
ever,
yeah. No,
just that
then,
wine.
then it's
Yeah.
starting to
No
hurt.
matter how
Okay,
rich she
but so
is.
we're not sentencing her to that then. We could sentence her to...
No, we save it.
we could
but-
take the label
Jenny
off
Craig?
your wine and put it on a bottle of Metho. Here's some everyday wine you'll love.
It's good on
What
the windows.
did you say, Schmidty, that made you cover your own mouth?
You said we could sentence her to, and I said Jenny Craig.
Ouch. Fat fighters.
You can have some salad.
But
Dust.
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 Just put down curry.
Dust.
The partner was probably telling the truth.
Is
about
chocolate
her
cake
forgetting
fattening?
food.
High fat, low fat.
What's it? This
High
is-
fat, low fat.
High fat, low fat,
Oh,
sorry.
we all know it's high fat, but it tastes delicious, so we'll just put it down as low fat.
Low fat, that's right. All right. Okay. So, yes, I think Claire probably should get some comeuppance.
And a bit of fact checking.
Anyway,
Fact.
and here's my last
Yep.
one. Factor
Yes.
checking, not fat checking. We've already checked that out.
Alright.
This is one of your other favourite, apart from crocodiles, this is one of the other things that you
Yeah,
love.
detail.
Woman married a rag doll and now has
Fuck
a baby.
off. What? Not to the rag doll, I hope.
Oh, absolutely.
Or
yes.
is the rag doll the baby?
No, there are two. There's a baby and a rag doll husband.
Oh no! Do you know that?
Allow me to tell you
Do you know
the
the
story.
Aerosmith song? They've got a
Which
song
one?
called Ragdoll, and I think one
No,
of
I
the
don't know.
lines is "Baby, won't you do me like you did me before" or something.
Oh my lord!
And maybe she's taken that literally, and this is what's happened.
Oh, I kind of get where she's coming from.
Is this clickbait
and that
again
will come-
that I would just totally
Of
fall
course it is.
for?
It's Ladbible. That's
Right,
Ladbible,
yeah.
right? Okay, so as the saying goes, love knows no bounds. And this certainly applies to a woman who fell in love with a rag doll.
No,
and I
she
can't
didn't.
say her name because she's from Brazil.
She
I'm going
didn't.
to try.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Murder it.
Marivoni. I'm sorry. Marivoni, Rocha, Moraes. Oh, I'm
We
so
have
sorry.
some Brazilians who listen to us, so if they would like to send in how
I'm
to
so
say
sorry.
it, we could correct Schmidty.
It's probably something like a Merjava, because it's Portuguese. I can't say it. So let's just call her Rocha because that's her
Okay.
middle name, sort of. So Rocha has found her soulmate in the life-size doll she calls her husband, and the pair have even
It's
gone
a
on to have a
life-size
baby.
rag doll,
Oh my.
as in
Sure
as big
is.
as a man.
Remember Anatoly?
Yes,
Remember
I
Anatoly
do.
and his
Yes.
dolls? It's a bit similar to one of
Oh.
those, only not
Oh
made of
God, I
a
was going to say
person.
stop it.
No, it's not made of an exhumed corpse. The
What a relief.
37-year-old from
Yeah.
Let's start opening that can of worms
Dodge
again.
that bullet.
The 37-year-old from Brazil said her mum made her the rag doll named Marcello after she complained about being single and having no one to dance with. Enable much? Anyway, little did she realise it would be love at first sight, and after a few months of dating, she fell pregnant.
To the rag doll.
They decided to
did
tie the
not.
knot before the new...
She did. Well, to the little midget
What
that was
a
inside.
load of
Can't use that
Oh
word.
no!
I'm going to have to bleep that out now. Oh,
What word can
anyway,
you use?
to-
Was it
do you
Oompa
mean-
Loompa that you can use?
Are you... No, you can't use that either. Are you talking about like a Russian doll? Are you talking about...
Yeah.
What are the
No,
nesting
he's
doll?
talking about,
So-
like...
It was the little nesting doll
Oh,
inside
I thought
her.
you were talking about, you know how you get fat costumes that they use in Little Britain all the time?
Yeah,
But a fat costume for midgets.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's
Oh,
use the
okay.
word again.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not. Little people. Little people?
It's all relative.
Okay.
But not midgets. But
You know how we have cancel culture?
You're going to cancel
Is it
this
true
shit.
that... yes, gotcha.
And I don't think you can
Is
cancel them
Is
either.
it true that book was originally called
Edit,
Little
edit.
Midgets? No, Midget Women?
Little
Was
Women.
that originally called Midget
It's
Women?
not about dwarves. It's about little girls. It's about young
Yes.
girls. Oh, my Lord. Oh, this all has to come out. As funny
It's
as it is.
so
this is-
much fun
this is
to wind you
Patreons
up.
only. This is Patreon only. This is just
People
for
will
Danny.
expect
For her
this shit
ears
from
only.
us. Midget women.
We've now
I
actually
can't
got
believe they had to
people listening
cancel
to us,
culture
so now
that
I'm
to
so much
Little
more
Women.
sensitive. I'm so sensitive now that we've got more than 3 people listening to us. Okay, so they decided to tie the knot before the newborn arrived in a ceremony that was attended by 250 people.
Oh, come on. I remember when they were talking about gay marriage and they were
Oh.
saying people will start marrying animals. Never did they say people will start marrying ragdoll. But maybe this shit's true.
People marry all sorts of things. I've got another story about a woman who married a tree, but I won't get onto it. Anyway, because clearly I had a theme
Yeah, I
happening.
know, right?
Crocodiles and Bizarro. Unsurprisingly, the birth was a painless one.
No shot.
Roger claiming it took just 35 minutes.
The whole pregnancy or
and
just
I'm
the
not
birth?
quite sure the birth, and I'm not even sure what happens in the birth. Is that like it got stuck because she tucked it up in her pants and it got stuck, and so it took her 35 minutes to pull it out? I don't know.
So
I
is
don't know
The
how.
zip at the back of
The
the...
zip at the back, it got caught on the other rag doll.
When the little fella came out, she thought it was a baby.
Does the baby look more like the mother or the father?
The baby definitely looks like the
Right.
father. Spit. Yeah. It was a wonderful day for me, very important, very emotional, she told NTK. He is a man I always wanted in my life. Married life with him is wonderful. And this
She's
is
got
where
to
I'm
be
starting
taking
to
the
see her
piss,
point,
doesn't
right?
she?
No, he doesn't fight with me. He doesn't argue. And he just understands me. Marcello is a great and faithful husband. He is such a man, and all women envy him.
How
She's
so?
weird.
He's got a strap on.
I think that's meant to be. I'm sure that's meant to read "All women envy me," but anyway. When my mum made Marcello, and
When my mum made Marcello, it sounds like she's dating her brother.
when my mum made Marcello, and it does gross, and first introduced me to him, I fell in love with him. It was love at first sight. and the couple had the baby. It was because
The
I
couple
didn't
have the
photo
baby.
dancer.
They did some weird whack job.
I think you are wrong. She makes a big point at the end to say, people like you are very upsetting.
People like me are upsetting. Fuck.
Oh, it was because I didn't have a photo dancer. I would go to these dances but wouldn't always find a partner. Then he entered into my life and it all made sense. The wedding was a wonderful day for me. Very important, very emotional. It rained a lot, but it was
It
wonderful.
rained a lot.
But, as is often the case, marriage isn't always easy. With the doll mum of one adding, he has so many great qualities, but the only downside is he's
He
lazy.
doesn't do the housework.
He doesn't work at all. But I'm a warrior and I keep fighting for
You're
us.
a fucking whack job.
She said after Marcello didn't use a condom, she fell pregnant and even gained weight as she eagerly awaited for the new arrival. On the 21st of May, they welcomed doll child Marcellino into the world following a pain-free birth. She explained, I didn't feel the contractions in pain. Seeing the placenta and the umbilical cord and the blood made it all real.
What?
He was here in 35 minutes and he is great. I don't understand.
Oh.
Did a mum crochet a placenta?
Oh,
Yeah, her mum is brilliant.
Yeah.
No idea.
What was she so?
No, I reckon her mum stole a placenta from another birth.
I
And
have no idea.
God.
She does go on to say, it really upsets me when people say this is fake. It makes me so angry. I am a woman of character. My father, my mother taught me to be honest, to be a good person and not to want to take advantage of anything.
She needs
There
a
you
good
go.
fucking slap. Just a real fucking stinger, like, and, a big red handprint on
I'm
her cheek.
just going to show you a picture of her.
Taking it seriously,
my
for a
lord.
minute, there's not.
Oh,
is there not
no.
It's Chucky.
Oh, it's come up.
They've just seen the photo.
Yeah, no, but then there's
Yeah.
the next one I've seen is woman marries her 8-year-old zombie doll.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. Oh, my God.
It's awful.
Oh. Oh. Oh, that is awful.
It's like she's married a pug that got hit by a fucking car.
And then rotted.
Oh.
That does make me want to. That turns my
Yeah.
stomach.
Oh.
I'm sure it doesn't smell because it's a doll, but come on.
That'd
Rob.
make a maggot
You're
gag.
not that ugly. I mean, you're pretty fucking ugly, but that doll's
Oh,
punching above its
that is
weight, that's
wrong.
for sure.
So I did have one other story, which was basically a little article. Could you
Is
see
that
the
a
screen?
is that a Hannibal?
It's about how to make this, how to make a doll how to make a wine glass out of a doll's head.
It looks like the
And-
movie Hannibal, where they
Yeah.
take
Oh,
the
yeah.
head. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if they had merchandise, I swear this would be one of the items.
Oh, it was terrible. And it some art student is doing it, but it was funny because it's like 32 steps on how to make a wine glass from
doll's
a
head.
doll's head. And all of the responses are like, and why would you
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to? And by the way, you could do it in 7, but even
It's
so,
still
and
not
then
okay.
The actual person who put this all forward does say it's totally toxic. Don't drink out of it.
In other words, I haven't actually told you how to do it.
No, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, I thought that was sort of amusing, and I didn't see the zombie one, so thanks for sharing that.
I'm gonna. So in terms of sentencing, I'm gonna sentence what's her name, the Brazilian ragdoll lover,
Couldn't even say it.
to her baby becoming the zombie doll.
Oh,
And then I bet she doesn't love it so much anymore. All of a sudden, she'll go, "Oh, actually, she needs a good hard dose of doll reality."
What she needs is to meet a real
But
man.
who's going to dole that out to her?
Who's gonna doll that out to her?
But a ching. Waka waka
Coming-
waka.
Waka, 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 waka. I'm here all night.
Oh, dear.
Oh no, I think she just needs to meet a human man who's actually quite nice. Maybe one that works quite a lot and earns some good money, because that'll be the thing that makes her want to leave her ragdoll. All right. Well, that's it from me. So
That's it from me.
And that's it from me.
there we go. Is that it from you
Yeah.
two? All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this not quite like our normal format, but kind of like our normal format story telling shits and giggleses.
And in the words of the two Ronnies, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Was
that right?
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah.
All right. Well, miss you already, and thank you. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Miss you already.
Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.